Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to make a sea glass lampshade base using an old metal base. This metal base I bought at the Goodwill, so you can buy one wherever you can get used items. I will also have a detailed description of some of the supplies that I use, and as an Amazon affiliate marketer, I do get a small commission if you happen to purchase something after looking at my website. Anyway, now I bought this. I think it was like $3.99 at Goodwill. You can buy a new base if you want to, but I bought this used one. And this is a video that I have on a different lampshade. What I'm showing you now is how to cover it with foil. Now you can use any kind of copper foil. This actually, what I'm showing right now is black backed copper foil that I happen to have. And you can use that. What I usually try to use is the non-black backed because it's a little bit less expensive. But basically you need to use a copper foil that is sticky. So you don't want to get a really cheap one because it might not be sticky enough. You'll have to experiment. And you'll want to wrap all your wires with copper foil. And of course, when you do wrap things with copper foil, you want to press down the copper foil so it really sticks to your project. So here you can see I have taken my little lamp and I covered it up with foil, and now I'm coating it with some 60-40 tin lead solder. So this is your regular solder that you would use for stained glass work. Now I didn't have to do this. I could have decided that I'm just going to leave most of my lamp base black and then just paint it to look the same color as my finished project. That's really up to you. I decided I wanted the kind of raw, coppery, uneven look that you get when you cover something with foil and solder and then patina it afterwards. So it's not really a smooth look, and you'll see when I'm done. So that's what I did. So I decided I'm just going to cover the whole thing with solder. I have scraps of solder, I have old pieces of solder, I have new solder, any solder that I have. I'm going to cover the whole metal base with it. That glove that you saw that I'm wearing is a thin silicone glove that people usually use for kind of more cosmetic type of thing to make your skin extra smooth, they advertise it. But I'm using the silicone glove to help protect my hand from splashes of solder. Unfortunately, as you may see, I have long fingernails and it does put holes through the glove. But I did find that wearing this thin silicone glove does not impede my textile as far as I can hang on to things. It's very close to your skin. It's not like a normal glove that you feel like it's a foreign object. It's very comfortable, and you can reuse it. I just wash it. When I wash my project when I'm done, I wash the glove and then I just take it off and use it again. I'm using scraps, as you can tell, of solder. I also have a video of how to take all your scraps that you have left over and melt them into a long, thin piece of solder, kind of as a coil. So you can do that if you want to, so that you don't have to pick up these little scraps of solder. So that works very nicely. Now, when I'm doing this, I'm also trying to cover up the seams that I happen to get from my foiling. So when you foil an object, you do end up with these lines that are created between the pieces of foil. And I do try to cover up the lines when I'm doing this, so that you don't see that this is made out of, you know, lots of different pieces of foil with solder on top. Obviously, that's not really the look I want. And this does take a while. It took a while to foil it also. But I think the end result is exactly what I envisioned. Now you can buy your base for your lamp. You can buy it new. There's a lot of different places that will sell you lamp bases, but I would suggest going to a Salvation Army or a Goodwill store and buying a used one, because there's really no need to have a brand new lamp base. So as you can see, it's also a good way to use your scraps. You can just kind of use your iron, just kind of suck up the scraps of solder. Now, when you are done, you are going to wash this, obviously, with water and some kind of soap, and that will get rid of those dark fluxy residue, kind of little burned areas, before you patina it. Now, of course, you don't have to patina it. You can decide that you like the silver look and just wax or put polish on the silver color itself after you clean it and keep it that color. I wanted to have this looking kind of coppery when it's done, which is why I decided ahead of time, I decided I was going to use the copper patina. But sometimes I don't decide what color it's going to be until afterwards, till after I'm done. So you can see now I'm like flooding on another layer of solder here and there wherever I see a seam in the actual foiling that I was doing. So I'm just kind of adding a little piece of solder here and there. And as you can see, I can turn it and handle this even though it's still a little hot, because I do have some protection, which is what I wanted to do. I'm also obviously avoiding hurting the cord, because this has already been wired, and I'm not getting any solder or anything in the top part where the light bulb goes in. So you have to be a little careful with when you have something that's already been wired, that you don't end up hurting it. Obviously, if I melt it by mistake, the cord, I'd have to fix that. This is some pieces of sea glass that I am foiling. I use the 7/32 inch foil, copper foil, and I usually use the black back stuff so it doesn't leave a bright color if it happens to be transparent or translucent, but actually with sea glass, it's pretty solid. You don't really see through it. It's kind of that frosty look. And make sure that you press down on the edges so that they're nice and smooth. So with that foil, I did cut the foil in half so that it was only half the thickness for these to go around them, because I didn't want to like have a really wide outline on my sea glass. Now I'm using sea glass as opposed to regular sheet glass because I like that frosted look that you get with sea glass. So you can either tumble glass so it gets a frosty look, or you can get sea glass itself. Now I decided that it'd be better if I tin all the way around these pieces of glass before I attach them to my project, because then it's just a lot easier to use. I don't have to try to get my iron in between these pieces. So sometimes I do pre-tin a project and sometimes I don't. Now, I don't really know which one's going where. I'm pretty much just picking up a piece of sea glass and deciding, oh, I want to put it there. And then I just want to put this one over here. And another good thing about pre-tinning it is that it's really easy to attach later because you already have that tinned piece of glass, and if you haven't washed it yet, it still has some flux on it, so you can just whip it here and there and just solder it in place. It's really, really easy. I'm going to wash it when I'm done, so I tinned them right before I used them, so I really don't have to worry about refluxing them or anything. Now, there has been times when I have pre-tinned a whole bunch of stuff, and then if I'm going to store them for any amount of time, I would then wash off the flux before I stored them, because they might tend to start corroding or rusting and discoloring while they're sitting there because they haven't been polished or anything. So the tin lid is going to get a little yucky looking after a while, and stuff won't stick to it quite as easily if the flux has been sitting on a piece of glass for a while. So you'll want to wash the flux off usually within the day. I have waited longer. You just have to scrub a lot longer. So I'd like to do it like that day if you can. And if you're not going to finish your project, just wash what you have. And then you can start over again and just put some more flux on it, and you're off and running again. I use a gel flux, which is a little bit more viscosity than a liquid, so it kind of sits on your project and doesn't like run off. And I find that really convenient. So you got to figure out, well, which one's going to fit where, and if you have to, just get another piece. You know, there's nothing wrong with, you know, if you foiled a piece and you've tinned it all, and then you decide it just doesn't fit, then just wash that one and just use a different one, and you'll use that some other project. So I'm putting a little bit extra flux and solder in between to make sure that they stay together really nicely. I'm going around afterwards to just add a little extra solder here and there wherever it's needed. If I see any of those lines in between the different pieces of foil, I will add some solder there. If I see extra globs or areas that need to have solder, I will add solder. Now I'm going to be using super bright Novacone copper patina for my project. So I'm outside, and this is what it looks like before I've done any patinaing, and I'm using a spray bottle, very, very light mist of the patina, and you can see that it really reacts immediately. And the reason it reacts immediately is I just soldered this and I just cleaned it off, so it's really really freshly cleaned. And I'm using a toothbrush there to just kind of spread it around where it hasn't actually sprayed everywhere. I'm trying to avoid getting spray onto the cable or onto the inside. I had a piece of plastic over the top. And this is what it looks like when it's done. It has that coppery, kind of clumpy, coppery feeling to it. And this, I have put some oil on it, and it has a nice little shine now, and my project is done. And next I'll be working on the top. And thank you for watching. Bye-bye for now.